Alright, well, we got a couple packages here. Maybe it's cheating a little bit, considering this one was actually here yesterday and I just didn't have the energy to open it. I do believe I remember what was in this one. The second season is something that Amazon decided it wasn't going to say it was going to have. You know, basically a visual release. Let's open. Two things in one package. Let's see, we got our receipt here, which goes to the side there. Mirai, which I think I mentioned last time, looks cool. Holidays coming. Jesus. I hope 3 of those is enough. Well, let's, since that's the scissors came out, let's start this. Like that there. Oh, and then I can put this aside. Is this one or two things? One thing. Interesting. And then we had a couple more things arrive, and I'll talk about this stuff all. But first, look at that. It's another Hentai Lust Struck Trilogy. With that girl giving a very VR chat side glare. I guess the back looks actually rather enticing. Less perverted than some of the non-hentai stuff I have. Don't know what to think about it, but I have it now. Next up, we have Go Shogun, the complete TV series on Blu-ray. I see a region A. I see Japanese with English subtitles. Which is, you know, unlikely heroes, unlikely villains, and a giant robot on the run. Okay, huh. Well, now I'm a bit curious. Go Shogun kind of makes it sound like they're cheering on the robot that's on the run. Maybe? Yeah, and I know, you're like, what the hell's up with these sleeves? I'll explain that in a little bit. For the time being, let's continue opening the anime. Where the plastic will fall apart. I will mutter a little bit underneath my breath and say, oh, let's go get the rest of this fucker. There's a little bit of this. There's a little bit of that. And now, I wanted to open it that way because, oh look, it's a different thing underneath the sleeve. It's always pretty cool. Backs are the same, which is pretty common for Eastern Star Discotheque releases. And now it's all robot on the inside. With humans even more insider than that. Spider. Next we've got we got Reborn. This is Hitman Reborn, I guess. Seasons 5 through 9. Episodes 102 through 203. Standard definition. SD on BD. With beady eyes. And let's see. I see Japanese with English subtitles. I don't see it saying Region A anywhere. Special features. Clean openings and clean closings. Did this one say special features? I don't see it in as obvious a place. Okay. Yeah, this is Hitman. This is Reborn Collection 2. And I think I got a confirmation that it was like Daitayo Hitman Reborn or something. There's a rough translation of the title. Let's assume that the slipcover will be different yet again. And take this tape off the sneaky way first. The easy way. There's nothing easy about that. That was a Back to the Future quote. Anyways. Nope. Same this time. Which is okay. it's interesting that there's just so many episodes on only 2 discs. Interesting. Okay, that guy looks a little powerful. Maybe a slightly bit Super Saiyan. Beware of this Super Saiyan. I think he's got a ball and he's ready to throw it. Anyways, you probably saw this, and I guess what I decided was I thought my copies of Metropolis were kind of crappy, so there's been a couple, and I think there are a couple more Steelbook versions of some anime stuff coming out, and I thought this one was just kind of just about right to grab, so I decided to go ahead and get this. You can see I'm going to punch this camera a couple times. So let's see, slip cover off. Does this actually lists the special features there? Let's see if I can actually read it with. We got amazing high definition. Okay. The making of Metropolis feature. There we go. That's an actual special feature. Interviews, animation comparisons, concept art gallery. That's some pretty cool stuff. I see a region A down there, and Blu-ray DVD has a lot of information, but audio is English and audio is Japanese. So we got both Japanese with English subtitles and audio, of course. You know, it's not the most perfect looking ever, but it's still pretty great looking. What's underneath this? What is this? This says DVD right there. What's underneath the damn DVD? There we go. What the hell is underneath the DVD? Oh, okay. Now I see. It's 2 different halves of that same face. I just had trouble parsing it because I was like, is that some sort of winged thing? But no, it's just this in an interesting artsy format. So, you know, it's a neat movie. And now I've got it on Steelbook. And I'm pretty sure I had it on Blu-ray and DVD before. I just kind of felt like getting that version. Next up, Galaxy Angel Z, which I don't think I have on Blu-ray. But, let's see. I see a region A there. There's English audio, which should make sense. These... Clean opening, clean closing, commercial collection, and now I get it. Galaxy Angel Lectures. Okay. The text was actually a little tricky to read. It's already kind of small as it is. In fact, don't ask me to read this stuff, which I'm going towards anyways, because that's really hard. Maybe easier for y'all on the full screen. I feel an Hecho en Mexico sticker right there. Oh well. Let's take a peek at the inside. It's some Galaxy Angel. You know, it's a kind of series that I appreciate. It has its waxes and wanes in terms of quality of stuff, but it's an amusing series. It kind of forgets its roots really quick because it starts out with, I guess, the general premise of introducing the Galaxy Angels, and Milfiu is their newest recruit or something. Anyways, last but not least, we have The Testament of Sister New Devil Burst Season 2. And while I check under that sticker for Hot Babe, I don't think we need to because it looks like it is on the plastic. Which means if I take all of this off, we can see that there's some sexy white space. Ooh la la. Oh geez. Can I remember these characters? Maybe. I don't know. We've got some sort of extras thing here, and we got the back. Let's look at the back. We got a region A. We got an English dub, specials, extras. Maria's Secret Video Burst. Well, that sounds very busty. Text list opening and closing songs, trailers. OVA episode included. That might be Maria's Secret Video Burst. Let's see. Does this actually give a hint? 10 episodes plus OVA? No, probably that's not an extra thing. Maybe that's something else. Demons and Double D's, uncut and uncensored. Well, that sounds like it. Let's... Ooh, fabric poster. Perfect thing to touch with my sweaty hands. Oh, jeez. Uh-oh, this product contains chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer. Which, you know, they put on pretty much everything, I think, including silos of sand. But yeah, okay. I'm probably not going to put it back in there because this sounds decorative enough to try to decorate with. Oh, it's just that again. Kind of hard to show in this angle on the camera, but it's kind of neat. Setting that aside, nothing else in here. Alright, let's actually get to the insides of this. Oh, there's the succubus girl again. Oh, yeah, now that's starting to look familiar. The sword is what tipped it off, not the cellulite, I guess. Oh yeah, that was her. I remember. I think I kind of had commentary about this in terms of maybe it didn't feel like it ended right, and I guess the fact that it's going on, oh shit, might mean that this actually could be a relatively okay harem anime sort of thing. Like, I kind of remember the premise being kind of interesting. Anyways, ooh, art book. Do you want to bet that the art is a little... Ooh, I was going to say seductress, but chibi stuff's actually not bad. Okay, now that's a little bit more what I was expecting. Oh, geez. So you can kind of see it goes wherever it wants. That is not going to fit up there, which means that... Oh yeah, it fit in here. Well... Here's this week's anime DVD collection update, and it's funny enough that the non-hentai was more pornographic than the porno, but from a presentation perspective. So, I guess there wasn't a whole lot I watched this week. Mostly, maybe only a couple episodes of New Game. I mean, I guess I watched some more New Batman Adventures with a Friend, but let's talk about this a little bit. It's keeping things really, really real in the couple episodes I watched. Although it is very, not a shaming, but it's been a very busy week. I mean, I'm trying to think what all was there, but I was chugging along for the past week, barely doing anything. And as you can see, I'm still not done doing stuff because I got this different outfit, which I will get to in a bit. I'm sure some of y'all are curious, but for anime, you know, New Game was still, I kind of want to see where it's going because I want to see what's going to happen. I think the second season here is better than the first season, but I don't remember the first season too well. I'm just mostly going on the fact that I felt like something was off with the first season, but watching the second season, it's actually very nice. It's just that now I've got a couple of other things to watch. So with my friends, with one of them, I finished watching My Hero Academia Season 1 with them, and it's really great. Especially since, like, if the way the first season ended was all the content that we were going to receive for My Hero Academia, it would actually be a kind of bad ending because it doesn't feel fulfilling. It just feels like an idea got finished and it's a good pausing point. And that's what's really nice about My Hero Academia. It doesn't end there, and what comes after is just as good as what came before. It's a good, well-made series. I guess is maybe a part of that due to the maybe letting the manga be out enough, or maybe it's been coming out really fast. I don't know. All I know is, you know, as far as I can tell, my friend really enjoyed it, because normally he cuts his visit time off at a certain time and we just, you know, measure where we are. But it was hard for him to stop when there was only 1 or 2 episodes left, because it's compelling enough that you kind of want to know what happens. There are some things about it that are kind of corny, cheesy, but at the same time they work especially because of that. I think a really good example is All Might, you know, like saying, "Midoriya, how did you get to be so cool?" You know, that's a sort of very adult childish way of looking at it, but at the same time what he did was actually really clever, really good idea. It was really engaging for what the audience was seeing. And you know, the characters on screen may react a little more strongly than we think they necessarily should, but at the same time it's the right kind of reaction or something like that. You know, My Hero Academia, it's really good. Everybody already knows about it and everybody loves it. Actually, I haven't heard of anybody that doesn't like it, but it would be interesting to hear their thoughts on that. But anyways, that's pretty much all the anime I've watched. But like I said, I did watch some new Batman Adventures with another friend, and I have to say, it's a little... Yeah, it feels like watching it is pushing it a little bit more, because it's nowhere near as deep as Batman the Animated Series. But sometimes because of that, it's really funny, and it's trying to be funny, and so it's not that bad of a series. It's just, it's got some really tough competition it's following up. It's like going to an open mic night and watching somebody who's perfectly fine and entertaining out there, but he came after the world's best comedian ever or something like that. And I wouldn't say Batman the Animated Series is the best series ever, but it is definitely a very thought-provoking piece for its time, and it's good amount of challenging. It's the right amount of challenging. So, yeah, you know, it's interesting. My friend, I think, is having more difficulty watching it. A part of that may have been that I just hadn't been watching a whole lot. I mean, for me, it was... I didn't even get to do a lot of VR chatting, for example, because I just had to make sure I was caught up on sleep, and there was a lot of stuff to do. And so, what this has to do, this is something that I was always keeping on my mind, because, you know, there was Halloween, and there was my company also participated in the Extra Life charity event that happened over the weekend. And I would have given you all the links, but I think we were still not quite sure what we were going to be doing to get people to stream. So overall, we only made $400 out of our $1,000 goal in donations, but at the same time, that means that $1,000 was probably about the right level of goal. It wasn't too little. It wasn't, oh, we only got $0 or we only got $50. You know, 400 means there's a good chunk of the way there, and it's probably a good goal for next year. Something that, you know, y'all might be able to hear about, because some of the problems we were running into was how to stream it. And the answers are obvious. You know, Twitch is your first idea, but then some of you may also remember, oh yes, you can also stream on YouTube. And it turned out we did the YouTube streaming, but I was too busy setting stuff up to actually advertise it, and we didn't really know until the day of what we were going to do there. And the problem with the Twitch streaming turned out to be that there had already been accounts created for the company for Twitch that were already banned, which is really weird. So you would think the alternative is, oh, well, maybe somebody there could just Twitch stream, except there's maybe kind of issues with implied sponsorship in that regard, and I can kind of see where there's some legal wiggle room to play it safe, and I think that's what we ended up doing. So it was mostly spread to a small group of people. I think that, well, maybe not a small group of people, but a small relative peer group rather. So it didn't network out or anything like that, and I don't think it would, because, I mean, y'all don't necessarily care about the company. You might be interested in the charity and maybe curious about my time there, but, you know, Extra Life wasn't even the last thing I did. Basically, I spent Friday helping set it up, and a lot of the day Saturday helping run it, which, you know, doesn't mean that I was necessarily super busy, but it did mean that instead of resting and relaxing and watching anime and doing whatever I normally do, I was playing video games there, so that there was a Mario on stream playing video games in case that's what they wanted to stream onto YouTube. And I wouldn't say there wasn't anything super interesting that I'm aware of that was there, except for maybe so for example, I was playing Super Mario World, and I would not say that's interesting, because obviously the stream cut to me at a point where I was getting close to deciding, okay, I'm going to fight Bowser, and I kept, you know, trying to remember how to do it and figure it out. But it moved to another thing before I finally figured out what I was going to do and actually successfully did it. So I did successfully beat Super Mario World. and realized that my skills at that have sucked. I think Super Mario Maker may have tweaked my stuff, but I also played some Super Smash Brothers, and well, if there's any reason that part of it would be interesting, it's because sometimes people find it amusing when somebody gets salty, and I didn't get salty. I always just assumed I was going to get my ass kicked, and for the most part, yeah, I did. I gave everybody my best effort whenever I was playing, but then the random number generator gave me Rosalina when he was Mario, and it was maybe not a good matchup, and I think that started frustrating him, and it's kind of understandable, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm blabbing on. The point is, I've been focusing on all of this stuff, and I think there was some other stuff, but yesterday and today was Diwali, which is, I haven't been doing a whole lot of volunteer helping work myself, but I did want to have an official outfit for them, because they set up market days for people to come and buy stuff. So, I bought this, and I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but there's these arms under certain angles and lights, you can tell, get kind of bluish, which is really interesting. Intricate pattern there. It's an interesting outfit. So I have this for future Diwalis as well, and if you don't know what Diwali is, that's fair. It's not an American holiday, it's an Indian holiday, but it's a good excuse to eat food, to dance, to sing, to have a good time, to relax a little bit, to bond with coworkers, and a lot of my coworkers are Indian. I wouldn't say half of them are, but enough of them are that, they like to introduce some of their festival stuff and participate in some of our festival stuff, and it's a good excuse to eat some great Indian food and, like I said, sing and dance and stuff. And technically in India, I think Diwali is November 7th and 8th. So here in the States, we celebrate it on the 5th and 6th, and maybe there's some overlap. I don't remember how the time zones work. But, it was good fun. And I'm probably going to continue wearing this to surprise my brother or something, just in celebration of Diwali. But, yeah, hopefully y'all were surprised, or y'all think, hey, it looks pretty great. And I don't know. I guess if y'all wanted to see anything else Diwali really, nah, it was just pictures of me basically wearing this. So that's all I really have for that. So maybe nothing too interesting, but if you wanted to say, oh yeah, okay, that's a good excuse to try and celebrate, how can I? You could try ordering Indian food or something like that, find something good, some chicken tikka masala or something like that. Although I think Diwali, according to the coworkers, maybe this is just the coworkers' preferences, their buffet tended to be more vegetarian stuff. In fact, I think it was all vegetarian. It was just a question of whether or not some of it was gluten-free and some of it was vegan. And there's perfectly good stuff out there. I mean, I had fried onions today. Not fried onion rings, just, yeah, it was good. And kheer is nice. But, I don't know. I'm kind of blabbing on. I do need to wrap this up and start processing the video and pick up my dinner and all that good stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, even though, it's not a super huge update, it's an interesting one. So, y'all have a happy Diwali and a nice week.